Every evening at exactly 7:15 p.m., she walked through the glass door of the same quiet diner, the soft chime announcing her arrival like a routine no one questioned anymore. The staff knew her face but not her story. She always chose the same booth by the window, always ordered the same meal, coffee, slightly bitter, no sugar, and a simple plate she barely touched. Her name was Elena, but no one there called her that. To them, she was just the quiet woman. For a whole year, she came and left like clockwork, sitting alone, staring at nothing in particular, sometimes at a folded piece of paper she kept in her bag. Her eyes carried something heavy, grief, maybe regret, or something deeper that words couldn't easily explain. People noticed, but no one asked. Until one night, something changed. The father glanced over, careful not to stare. He had noticed her before too. It was hard not to. Sometimes people just have quiet days, he replied gently. But she's always quiet, another girl added. The third one leaned closer, her small voice thoughtful. Maybe no one talks to her. Their father paused. He didn't want to intrude on a stranger's space, but children see the world differently, simpler, kinder, more direct. And sometimes, they're right. Elena, unaware of their conversation, unfolded that same paper again. Her hands trembled slightly. It was worn now, creased from being opened too many times. She didn't cry loudly. She never did. But her silence said everything. A few minutes later, the triplets huddled together, whispering like they were planning something important. They borrowed a crayon from the waitress and scribbled something on a napkin. Their handwriting was messy, uneven, but sincere. One of them carefully folded it, then slid off the booth. Wait, their father started, but he stopped himself. Maybe, just maybe, this was okay. The little girl walked up to Elena's table, her tiny shoes barely making a sound. Elena looked up, startled, her expression softening in confusion. "Hi," the girl said shyly, placing the folded napkin on the table. "This is for you." Before Elena could respond, the girl rushed back to her sisters, all three watching with wide, hopeful eyes. Elena hesitated for a moment before picking up the napkin. Her fingers slowly unfolded it. "Our dad thinks you're sad." She blinked. That was it. No long message, no explanation, just simple, honest words from children who saw something no one else dared to say out loud. For a second, nothing happened. Then, something inside her cracked. Not in a painful way, but in the way ice melts after a long winter. Her lips trembled, and for the first time in months, she let out a small, unexpected laugh. It was quiet, almost fragile, but real. She looked back at the girls. They immediately ducked and giggled, thinking they might have done something wrong. Elena did something she hadn't done in a long time. She smiled. A real smile. She picked up her coffee, stood up slowly, and walked over to their table. The father straightened slightly, unsure of what to expect. "I think," Elena said softly, holding the napkin, "your daughters are very brave." The man smiled apologetically. "I hope that wasn't too much. Kids, they notice things." "No," Elena shook her head gently. "It was exactly what I needed." The triplets peeked up at her, curious and a little nervous. "Are you sad?" one of them asked directly. Elena paused. For a moment, she considered giving the usual answer, the one adults use to avoid truth. But instead, she nodded. "I was," she said honestly. "Was?" another girl asked. Elena looked at them, then at the napkin again. Maybe, not as much anymore. The father watched quietly, something warm settling in his chest. Sometimes healing doesn't come from big moments. Sometimes, it comes from the smallest, most unexpected kindness. Elena pulled a chair and sat down with them. And for the first time in a year, she didn't sit alone. They talked, nothing deep, nothing heavy. The girls told her about their day, about school, about how they always try to sit together so no one feels left out. Elena listened, really listened. It felt strange at first, like stepping into sunlight after being in the dark too long. But slowly, it felt right. Before leaving, one of the girls handed her another napkin. This one said, "You can sit with us tomorrow too." Elena held it close, her eyes shining, but this time, not with sadness. The next evening, at exactly 7:15 p.m., the diner door chimed again. But this time, Elena didn't walk to her usual booth. She walked straight to theirs. And as she sat down, surrounded by laughter instead of silence, something inside her finally let go. Because sometimes, it doesn't take a grand gesture to change a life. Sometimes, all it takes is a small note, 3 kind hearts, and the courage to remind someone they're not invisible. If this story touched your heart even a little, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because stories like these remind us that kindness is still alive, and even the smallest actions can change someone's entire world.